Chase the double game week or stay patient. Welcome to the Gianni YouTube show. Hope you guys are well. Today's going to be about forwards and it's going to be about my team. We're going to do a little bit of a review of the season so far. But first up, let's just have a look at the game week just gone so I can review my team. And it did feel like every FPL manager has one of these weeks every season where everything just falls their way. And I was fortunate that that happened to me in game week 6. It means I'm probably not going to have another one of those this season, but 112 points I was obviously delighted with. All my players returning other than Nicholas Jackson. Yeah, you know it. But yeah, delighted. Anana kept the clean sheet. Then Trippier, 18 points. What a transfer in that was for so many of his owners. We were looking at Newcastle defence, weren't we? And there was a decision to make over some. Do you spend the extra on Trippier to a Botman, a Share or a Burn? I think we've seen against weaker opposition, he can bully them, and that's what we hoped we'd see against Sheffield United. 3 assists, 3 bonus, clean sheet. Thank you very much. Gvardiol comes in for his 7. He will be in and out the team, though. It looks like it's him or Ake, and again, I'm not sure long-term I want him, but looks great. Estupinan concedes, but still finds ways of getting good points. 3 assist points, but also he concedes and still gets bonus points. Just the 1, but we take it. The North London derby, we said we had to analyse fixtures from attack and defence. And this is a note moving forward, guys. When we analyse fixtures, don't see 2 teams playing against each other, 2 big teams, and go, I don't want those assets. If you think that game's got goals, and you still want their attackers. You don't want their defenders. So North London derby, I was like, I'm not interested in Arsenal and Spurs defence. They're both going to concede. But for Saka, Maddison and Son, I was delighted. 14 for Son, 13 for Saka, 9 for Maddison. Foden produced the goods as well. We can actually have a quick look at Foden's average position map from that game against Nottingham Forest. So check Foden's average position out. Like, we've all been looking at Alvarez. So many have gone towards Alvarez, and there's nothing wrong with that. Alvarez is a fine pick. I probably would have done the same. Jackson to Alvarez last week. I was blocked by it because I own 3 City. But what I've said for the last couple of weeks is Alvarez points that we'd seen in the last few weeks could very easily have been Foden points. They're playing in a very similar position on the pitch. They're both super close to Haaland. They're sharing set pieces. Don't be told that Alvarez is on all set pieces. Sure, he's on direct free kicks. They're sharing corners. They're sharing indirect free kicks. And Foden's a differential now. And we can see here, number 47, so close to Alvarez, just behind Haaland. He's actually playing on the right-hand side, but allowed to drift inwards because the way City are setting up at the moment, it's all about Walker down the right. So Foden can drift in. On the left, it's Doku or Grealish staying wide, as you can see. So delighted with Foden. Matoma's 14 points. He was benched versus Bournemouth. Comes on at half-time. 2 goals, 3 bonus. Haaland captain, fine. Everyone went there. And then Jackson with the 1-pointer. So look, it was one of those weeks. But how am I going to set up moving forward? And let's look at some data. Forwards are the story of the week because Nicholas Jackson owners need to sell. Yep, that 5th yellow came in his 6th game at Chelsea. So what to do with Jackson? What will I do with Jackson? So to help me look, I was like, scout members area, let's look at, I was going to do expected goals. I looked at that. I looked at a few different metrics. And I was like, the best way for me of evaluating forwards, if I'm not looking at just plain and simple goals and assists, it's attempts. How active are they? How much are they being used? How efficient is the team in producing chances for this striker? So from all the strikers so far in the league this season, the good news is Carlton Morris features in the top 10 for attempts, right? So top of the charts with 21 attempts is Visser. Now, 19 of those are in the box. And again, we're going to look at in the box because, again, I don't want 21 attempts with only 3 in the box. But most forwards, you expect it to be sort of 80, 90% in the box. Edouard is second. Alvarez has 20, joint with Edouard, but he's only 12 in the box. So again, worth noting there. The lowest ratio, and Alvarez, as you know, is as much a creator in this City team. Jackson at 4th, Watkins, Solanke, Ferguson. Darwin Nunez, despite his lack of minutes, is still always high with shots, as is Nketiah. But then at 10th, we've got Morris. So he's in good company. There's a lot of good strikers here, not in the list, that Morris is getting more shots of. So Morris has 12 shots, 10 of which has been in the box. Now, 2 of those were pens. And again, not all these guys are on pens. So do I like Morris for the double game week? The short answer is Yes, if you've got Jackson. No, if you've got Alvarez. If you've got Alvarez, you've got to keep him, right? You bought Alvarez because you liked a couple of good fixtures. One blank shouldn't change your mind. However, if you need a striker, looking at this list, looking at the fixtures they've got, knowing a wild card might be around the corner where you can transfer him out, I like Morris very much. I also like Darwin very much. So if we look back at the last 4 weeks for Darwin Nunez, we saw his cameo where he came on and scored 2 late goals. Then we saw him get 2 assists. Then we saw him benched because he had come back from international break. And I think he went off at half time for Uruguay in the second one of those games. So we didn't expect Klopp to start him. But then straight away, I'm looking game week 6. Is Klopp going to put his faith back in Darwin Nunez for a home game against West Ham? Yes, he is. Oh, and yes, he gets sort of 80-ish minutes and scores a goal and looks good. Darwin, for me, is Liverpool's number 9. Now, the only reason why I'm not buying him this week, I don't think I am, is 2 away games. 2 away games against tough opposition. Do I really want to invest in Darwin now, or do I wait? You could argue, as we've just said with the North London derby, don't look at the fixture too much in terms of how hard is the opposition to beat. Like Spurs is a tough game, but do Liverpool score at Spurs? Well, yeah, they probably do. And therefore it could be a good fixture for attack versus attack. So Darwin is definitely part of my thinking. Obviously, he's a bit more money. If I go to Darwin, I will potentially be blocking myself from going Salah in game week 9, but game week 9 could be a wild card. If I go Morris, then straight away, Jackson to Morris, saving me money. Maybe I can save money again in game week 8, and then maybe game week 9 I could Salah, and I don't have to wildcard. So I'm very much keeping my options open. But interesting to look at the forwards there. Morris is in good company. He's not a bad pick, and the fixtures Morris has, they're not bad. Like Everton away, I don't expect Luton to get much, but they got a chance, and they've always got a chance of a pen. And then Burnley at home, I'd say Luton are probably slight favourites. So in it to win it, 2 bites at the cherry, 180 minutes. When we're investing in that double game week, we want someone that's nailed for 80, 90 minutes. And Morris feels to be that guy. Should we have a quick look at the fixture ticker before we see my team? I'm going to filter the ticker from game week 7, 8, 9 and 10. Just 4 weeks. Now, usually I look ahead, I don't know, around 4 to 6 weeks. The reason I've done to 10 is there's a very good chance I wildcard before 10. I'm still looking at that international break, game week 8 to 9 as a wildcard window. Why am I looking at for a wildcard window? Well, my team doesn't have Liverpool. I can jump on Liverpool game week 9. I can dead end in game week 8 and sell a Man City or an Arsenal player, maybe a Saka, because there's a tough fixture that I don't think will be full of goals. And I can invest in Aston Villa, who I don't have any players. And Aston Villa have really good fixtures. Like they are, they 4th on the ticker here, Aston Villa? Yeah. So there's a few, I don't think my team necessarily needs it, but it's more, when am I going to use it? And is this the best place to take advantage of it? Now, international break as well gives me more time. And we should probably see more price rises in that week because managers get bored, right? So again, when wildcarding, if we can increase our team value, even better. So I do like it. I'm not committing to it though. And by bringing in Morris this week and give myself funds, maybe I can get to a wildcard team with like a 4-point hit and save it. That is an option. So that's where I'm at with the fixture ticker. That was from Fantasy Football Scout, by the way. Shall we have a look at my team? Let's have a look at it. So how am I setting up for game week 7? Well, the good news is I don't have a huge amount of headaches. So many weeks this season, we go into it with, am I going to make a transfer there? Am I going to make a transfer there? Am I going to make a transfer there? Who do I bench? At times, who do I captain? Although I feel like that's less of a discussion now. Who am I going to play in goal? At the moment, I feel fairly settled on this team. So Onana is my keeper. Now, it's worth noting, Turner has a good fixture at home. Turner is a very good, Nottingham Forest at home. You back them, but I'm going to go Onana. I'm pretty confident on Onana off the back of seeing Ten Hag mixed it up a little bit, didn't he, in game week 6. We saw them go to Burnley and put up low XG number, but also be fairly defensive. Like Burnley had 1 XG, just over. United accumulated just under 1 XG, but it wasn't the free-flowing United we had seen in the first few game weeks. Now, sure, they've been poor defensively. They've left themselves open because they've actually attacked quite well, United, this season. Not in terms of as a team, but individuals, and they've been given license to get forward. The numbers have looked all right. Well, they didn't look quite so good in attack against Burnley, but because of that, they looked more defensively sound. And if they continue that theme against Palace, and I expect they will, then Onana's, for me, a better option. So Onana in goal. Trips at the back, of course, Kieran Trippier. Love you very much after your 18-pointer. Gvardiol, who knows if he starts. If he doesn't, he probably doesn't come off the bench. So I could have Colwill come in against Fulham. Fine with that. Cabore's 2 bites at the cherry again. Now, when we look at Luton defenders, Cabore has started all but one game. He does often come off for the last 10 minutes, or 15 or 20, but often makes it to the 60-point threshold. So as long as he gets 2 lots to 60, he's got a chance of a clean sheet. He's also got a chance of coming off and then Luton conceding. He also has had I think an assist in game week 5 or game week, didn't he? Game week 6, he had an assist. So Cabore's going to play, just again, 2 bites at the cherry. Son and Maddison have tricky fixtures, but they had a tricky fixture against Arsenal and look what happened. I like that Liverpool fixture for Son and Mads. Liverpool's high line, home advantage. I see points. Definitely from Son, I see points. Saka's got a really nice fixture to Bournemouth, hasn't he? And again, we're going to talk a little bit about captaincy, but some might look at Saka. Foden, yeah, love. And then Matoma has sort of had his rest now, hasn't he? Like, he was benched for the first half against Bournemouth, so he sort of had his mini, this is the week he's going to get dropped. So Matoma feels like, Matoma and Mbomo have got the same points. They're both on 36 points this season. And Mbomo felt like a must-have. I've not had him all season. I was a bit gutted about that. He had a couple of pens, looked really good, Brentford winning games. And it's like, everyone needs Mbomo. Well, Matoma's matching him, and Diaby's only a couple of points behind them both. Like, there's not much in it there at all. Jackson has to go and is very likely to go for Morris. I could roll the transfer and just play Colwill and play a 4-5-1. But I think I'm going to go there to Morris. And look, Haaland is in and likely to be captain. On the bench, I've got a Stupinan. I do fancy Aston Villa to score. And I think I'm okay benching a Stupinan. I could change a Stupinan to sub 1. So if Gvardiol doesn't play, a Stupinan comes in. He does offer so much more upside than Levi Colwill. Of course he does. What about captaincy though, guys? We're all going to go Haaland this week, aren't we? I think we're going to go Haaland this week. I mean, Wolves away is a good fixture, not a great one. Like, I'd much prefer going Haaland in home fixtures. But it's a good enough fixture. We saw Wolves give Liverpool problems, but then they still conceded 3 in that game. So Haaland captain for me. If you want to go against De Grain, and we have to give options each week, don't we? I'm not going to go Spurs and Liverpool players. I wouldn't advise that because it's a hard game to predict. Even if there's going to be goals, it's a hard game to predict. I don't know where I'd bet on which team winning that game. Newcastle are flying off the back of their 100 goals against Sheffield United. If you own a Callum Wilson versus Burnley at St James's Park, that might be fun. But Saka versus Bournemouth is the other one, isn't it? You could look at Arsenal and go, I fancy them to score big against Bournemouth. But for me, Haaland captain all the way. It has to be, doesn't it? I think it has to be. Do follow me on social, and I'll be posting my team reveal on social media so you can see my absolute locked-in team. As I say, guys, I'm not expecting to make too many changes this week. It's Morris or it's Roll. It's probably Morris. Slight chance of Darwin, but unlikely. Haaland captain. Hopefully we get some big, fat, juicy green arrows. I mean, I'm chuffed with my rank where it's at. But again, it would be nice to get greens. Guys, thank you so much, by the way, for joining my members channel, like my YouTube channel. What's it even called? Thank you for becoming a YouTube member, is what I'm trying to say. We've got squad members where I prioritise all your comments and just various shout outs. And then we've also got our Ultras members where you can join our WhatsApp group, which includes Ali Yahangarov, last year's FPL winner. Loads of good chat in there, voice notes, videos, the lot. So thank you for coming across and joining and supporting the channel. But for now, guys, I'll see you very soon. Go well in game week 7. May your arrows be green, and I'll see you soon.